Hello, all you wonderful people. Welcome to the Toon review here for TTR Friday. I'm joined by Sam. Paul is, we're going to throw him under the bus straight away. Sam, where's Paul?
Paul is out shopping. Magpie Massive out there in Viewerland. He's out shopping with a missus. Surprisingly, I don't know why he needs to go to the shop because of all the merch that he's got on the toonreview.com. The only thing he's not selling is beans and bread. So goodness knows what he's buying. But yeah.
Well, we'll get to that.
For the shops.
We might possibly, Sam, have some drip that's arrived. So we'll show everybody in a minute. But yeah, welcome everybody in for TTR Friday. Sam's already said welcome to the Magpie Massive in Viewerland. We've got so Paul is busy this evening. He's not he's not shopping, but he is. We'll give him the pass. He's a busy man. And I believe I haven't had a chance because I've been very busy with work. I think Billy might be on the mend potentially. I think he might be out, so I'll have to give him a call and a shout as soon as I can. We'll get an update. He might even drop into the chat tonight and surprise everybody. We will wait and see. But make sure you have hit the like button down below as soon as you've jumped into the stream. Just it helps out with the YouTube algorithm massively. Make sure you've subscribed if you haven't already subscribed previously. Make sure you've got the notification bell switched on. That's really important so you can come back and watch our shows over the weekend for the Chelsea match, which we will talk about tonight. Memberships are available underneath Sam, and there is also a little dollar button if you want to click that and donate and support the channel. Additionally, we've got Mamaroo Records up in the top corners, our lovely sponsor. So please make sure you go and check them out in the description. There is a link in there so you can check them out and support them. There is also a shop in Whitley Bay if you want to go check them out as well. Is that everybody? What have I missed? I mean, I guess we might as well do the merch. We might as well start on this because mine's arrived today. So for everybody who knows, Paul's worked very hard behind the scenes, as I'm sure Susan has as well. On the toonreview.com and getting some season 2 merch for the Toon Review out because it was very, very much wanted and requested. Right in time for a lovely logo debate about Newcastle United, which we are going to discuss as well. So, as we've already shown you before, here is the toonreview.com for the official merch. And Paul has been so kind as to send some merch. Sam, have you got yours yet?
I don't. I wait with breath that is bated. Can't wait to get mine.
Well, we have, just so people can see it. We'll do a bit of the modeling for you. There we go. We've got the lovely Toon Review hoodie. It is very swanky, actually. It's very, very comfy. I'm very, very impressed with it. I've got the shirt as well, but we won't strip. We are on YouTube, so we'll keep it as just the hoodie for now.
You're looking quite broad and buff there in that. That suits you, mate.
Oh, shucks, don't you? Anyway, we digress. Let's move on. So let's just go and have a look at a couple of the starred chats before we move on. And big shout out to Pilor Keith, who has become a YouTube member. I'm pretty sure Keith was a YouTube member before, so that's possibly a renewal. Pilor Keith has done a fantastic amount for the channel, loads of support previously. So thank you very much, Pilor Keith. Much appreciated. Who have we got in the chat? It's lots of hellos. It's lots of the usual gang. Tom, my friend, we're going to need you tonight because I've got lots of logo questions because I'm not from the Northeast, as I'm sure you can hear from the dodgy accent. We've got questions. I don't know about the old logos, what they mean, where they're from, why they were designed. I'm sure you've got all the answers, so we will go into some depth in that and talk about the new logo designs. We've already got straight away Julie saying, "Keep the logo." I think we'll go Eddie Howe direction first, shall we? Before we go logo. Of course, it was the press conference. I don't know what happened this morning, guys. I know that Paul normally does a press conference reaction. I think he might have had some technical difficulties, so you'll have to bear with him. We'll talk about it briefly tonight. I unfortunately have been a bit busy and haven't watched it yet. I have been sent some notes. I'll have a look at those. And Sam, I think you have watched it. So have you got some general talking points from today's press conference?
Yeah, certainly. I don't think it was as ludicrous some of the questions as it is normally, which was quite nice. A few questions were actually sidestepped today, which I found interesting and challenging. In particular, Eddie was asked about how did he feel about Chelsea Football Club selling themselves their women's team and their own hotel, which has funded their depth of squad, their quality depth of squad. Yeah, it was obviously off the back of, you know, how we're preparing for the match. Eddie obviously mentioned about the quality and the huge squad that they do have. So I quite like the grit in that. We don't usually get there. Eddie eloquently sidestepped it, which I think was the smart thing for him to do.
I mean, he was never going to answer that, was he? But it's nice that it was asked because it gets it. Yeah, it gets it out there, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I was actually really pleased for that, even though it was a bit. I mean, some people might argue that it's a wasted question because he's never going to answer something like that, but it is a bone of contention. Yeah. So it was actually.
I don't mind that, you know. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as well. So I was quite happy with that one. Obviously went into injury. So speaking about Joe Linton, to say that he was only briefly in Brazil. He has seen him since, and I believe he was off to, I think he said Barcelona for another injection. But in good spirits, which would be good, but I think it's doesn't know whether he's going to be back, doesn't know whether he's going to be available or not. Apparently Gordon, we spoke about him and his injury that people will probably be aware that he picked up in the last England game as well. Eddie alluded to that being probably more serious than it first initially seemed, but he's been training, looking good. Apparently says that Gordon is feeling back to himself again. So I think this is going to raise an interesting question about who do we start and where, obviously. Sven Botman, I think it's, you know, he's been training again. So we got asked some questions, you know, are we going to be able to see him anytime soon? And I think Trips and Shaw he got asked about as well. But you actually mentioned before the show about Jamal as well.
Big Jam. Yeah. So it is a Twitter account. It is Joel Bland, who I'm pretty sure is an in the know character as far as I'm aware. So we take all of those things with a rather large pinch of salt on this channel. They don't get everything wrong, but they don't get a lot right. He seems to think that Lascelles is back in full training. And it's kind of those sorts of things are quite easy to generally get right because there's pictures, there's people. It's not that complicated. So I really hope that he's right on that one. It would be lovely to see the big Jam in full training again. However, that being said, Sam, there are some rumours that he's actually had his contract extended and we've just not been told. Everything we've seen suggests that his contract is up at the end of this summer. But there are some murmurs that it got extended, and we've just not been told. Essentially, it's not been announced by the club officially.
It's an interesting one for me, Alex, because I think we've seen this previously as well, where we're not like doing like a ta-da moment announcement and letting fans know that we've had extensions and things. We're sort of finding out about it a little bit later, so it's a little bit strange. I mean, I don't have a problem with Jamal staying at all. I think we're absolutely going to need him. And even if it's a 1-year extension, it means that we don't have to let him go for free. Maybe we might be able to sell him in a December window if we want to. I think it gives us some options and some depth of squad.
Yeah, 100%. I've got reasons as to why maybe they haven't announced it, if there's any truth in this.
Oh, come on.
Because if we've gone off the back of failed high bids for Mark Gahey, and then the club ended the window by going, ta-da, like you said, we've just extended Jamal instead. I think that might have been a bit tin pot. As much as we love Jamal Lascelles, and I used to be, as people will know who have been on the channel for a long time, I used to be very heavily critical of Jamal Lascelles, possibly overly, too personal. That was back when I was a little bit harsher, I feel. And I wish I hadn't gone quite as far on Jamal, because I think he developed his skills as a footballer considerably when Eddie Howe joined the club. And I really didn't mind his game at all. It was a real shame he got injured. And he's a club captain, and he would have been really useful in the last sort of 18 months. So it's a massive, massive blow. But we don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back. No idea. Yeah. So it's one of those. We've got Emil Kraft as well, who's kind of teetering on the edge. We can't keep lots of people because we like them. We do need to turn the squad over at some point. So me harsh, Trevor. Yes, I know. Never happens. Don't know what you're talking about.
Shock.
Don't know what you're talking about. So this Mr. Joel Brand has also stated an update regarding Ruddy, apparently, that the club really value him behind the scenes and he will likely stay on past the summer. I feel like we all kind of gathered that anyway. I don't know where we've all got this from, but everybody seems to be under the impression that he's in as a bit of a coaching figure and he's probably going to stay. I don't know where we got this from, but we all seem to be saying the same thing from every source. Maybe it's right.
Maybe it is right. I think it's maybe just an assumption. I think we've had to play that PSR time very, very carefully, make deals to keep us above water for a lot of the extent of it. And yeah, I mean, have our goalkeepers improved? I think Dubs certainly did. I think before, we fell back in love with him. I think there was very questionable aspects of his game. So I wouldn't mind him staying on as a coach, Alex, I've got to say. I think he's obviously contributing something to the team. But you're right, I find it very weird that he's been brought on as a goalkeeper. Goodness knows what wages are. I'd be intrigued to understand that and know if he would like to stay on as a part of the coaching staff.
Devil's advocate.
Go.
We've already got Mark Gillespie, who doesn't play and already fills that
he
role.
Needs to go. No, he doesn't fill that role. He doesn't fill that role. What he does is he sits with a guest list and rings up places to say how many free drinks can we get if we bring Newcastle in and post on Twitter. Like, no, he cannot stay.
I should have been a goalkeeper, honestly. I'm not tall enough, but I wish I could have been a goalkeeper. It seems like the ticket, doesn't it?
Yeah, I find
just sit as a third choice keeper on like $3,000 a week, and $3,000 a week to just train with your mates in the morning and never play. What?
I find it personally really frustrating and almost disrespectful. I know that people are just gonna, if you're getting offered that type of money to do whatever it is that
he's
you
on
do.
10K. He's rumored that he's on 10K a week. Mark Gillespie.
No.
40 grand a month for somebody who's made. I don't think he's made any official senior appearances. I think he played in the Saudi Funny Cup that we did.
Didn't we do the friendlies as well? That was absolutely horrendous, and he saved a pen and Dan Burn.
He played in the. I do remember that. Yeah, and he played in the Australian game as well.
Yeah, that was it. Like, that's your contribution for the wage packet. No, we need to be more ruthless, I think, when it comes to these types of squad players. I think, we talk about, is it like Isaac Hayden's as well, and I know that's frustrating. There's nothing we can do about that. That's hangover from the Ashley years and stuff, but goodness me. Oh.
I mean, Joel's just done some maths there. Apparently that's 520K a year. That could go towards a pay rise for somebody that we really, really value. Mm-hmm. No disrespect to Mark Gillespie. I'm sure he's a sound bloke. He probably doesn't give a toss about us, but
yeah,
I care about the football club and the betterment of the football club, and I do feel like we don't need that many goalkeepers. Anyway, we'll move on from goalkeepers. We've talked about Ruddy. I don't mind having somebody in that capacity, but not two. God knows. I mean, you mentioned there 520 grand a year for Gillespie. Imagine if we put Ruddy into that as well. How much money we're spending on goalkeepers that don't play.
Kenzie's just mentioned exactly the same thing, and it'd
be over $1 million on keepers that don't play, which is
smart business. That is not smart business. We need to be getting more frugal, investing in quality for the long term. And some of these players have just got to go. And I think because it's so public as well, like Gillespie's just not made any appearances. I mean, Lacademos has done more.
I think we've got to be careful with people who are in the leadership group or a senior figure that don't play or aren't good enough to play. I think that's concerning. Dan Burn's still good enough. Absolutely. You've got your Trippier and players like that. But one Callum Wilson's part of the leadership group and doesn't play. Obviously, Jamal's been out for a very, very long time. So those two have probably not really impacted as much as they could do. I've got fly buzzing around this office. It's so annoying. Go away. And then we've got too many players involved in the leadership group that I think just aren't What message does that send to the players if you've got people maybe keeping you in check when they themselves aren't, maybe don't play, or I don't know. It rubs me up the wrong way. I think it's a bit weird. It's a weird
No,
dynamic.
I'm exactly the same. It really bothers me because that's money that can either be going towards new signings or younger talent or rewarding successes of those who have sort of come up through the ranks and are starting to show real quality in what they're doing. So yeah, it stings a little bit for me, especially given that the transfer windows, the last 3 that we've had where we can't do anything and we've been absolutely hogtied, yet we're Wolf of Wall Street and over here to people who seemingly do not a great deal for the squad.
Anyway, we won't talk about John Ruddy and Gillespie all night because that's a tragic Friday night for everybody. So we'll move on. We will move on. Was there anything else interesting about the press conference? That I did hear that there was some murmurs about Joe Willock. He was asked about Willock. Anything?
Yeah, it was. I think again being quite complimentary about his skills, saying that there's a place, but he did go on to say that everybody was quite competitive. I felt that he steered away from that a little bit. He said that everybody performs fantastically well in training. He did allude to. Sorry, I want to skip back to Gordon for a second here. Something's just come to mind. He alluded to like, oh, well, he was asked a question, how's Gordon feeling? He's surely if he's fit, he's going to be wanting to start and probably should. And I think it was always a case of, well, in training, it's whatever you do in training and that's what we go off. And the team doesn't always pick itself. So that I thought that was quite an interesting one. And then he went back and said, actually, the team never picks itself. So it tells me that he's probably being quite considered about things. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what the picks are this week.
I feel like that's nonsense because he picks players who haven't trained. Sometimes players won't train at all and then they'll play and they'll get straight in the squad. It's like, I don't know. I think that's nonsense personally. Weird. That's a weird one. That is a really, really strange one. Yeah, Willock, I saw something about consistency and about maybe being given a run of games or time. I don't know what he said surrounding that, but I was told he referenced, Willock needing the actual fixtures to be able to perform. You can't just drop him in and expect gold straight away. And we've always known Willock's needed time.
I mean, for me, that's not what I took away from it. To be honest with you, I think Eddie actually referred to like, whatever you're doing in training, that's what I expect to see. That they're a really competitive bunch. If you're good enough to be starting, you're good enough to be training, and we expect to see only the best in training as well as the games. You shouldn't need a run of games. I think he alluded to you shouldn't need a run of games to get your form back because that's what training's for.
Anyway, there's a lot of questions about Paul for people who joined late. He's shopping. He's having to sort out a telephone issue, and he will be back. He's fine. He will be doing the watch along on Sunday, as will I. So we will be there. So Sam, feel free to join us if you're about. And I think Billy is potentially just going home today. I need to call him after this, and we'll have a chat. But we just want Billy to focus on being as fit and firing as possible. And thank you for all your support, everybody in the chat who does drop in. Love it's very much appreciated. He does read it and he does value it dearly. So it is definitely doesn't go unnoticed. Shall we talk about the logo, Sam?
I don't know if I'm ready to. I don't know if I want to. I think I'm still hurting a little bit.
Show us the badge.
How do you feel?
Give us a little zoom. You've got the shirt on. Show us the iconic badge.
I mean, look. I don't like. Am I old-fashioned? Like, I love this logo.
Shall I read the email?
Please do.
For people?
Yeah.
Right. Hang on. Let's go and. I think I've got an empty email from you, Sam.
You don't scroll down, man.
It?
Scroll down.
No, I've got an empty email, mate.
Oh, really?
You'll have to read it. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it wouldn't let me forward it on. So.
It's fine. You can read it.
You're letting a dyslexic girl read live? Okay, well, let's try our best. Updating our crest together. How corny is that? Right, anyway. As our club grows on a global stage, the symbol that represents us needs to be able to keep pace. It needs to show up clearly and confidently across everything from kits to screens to merchandise. So we've been asking ourselves, how well does our current crest represent the club today? And how well will it serve us tomorrow? I mean, it is proper cheesy. It's time to update our crest. This isn't a decision we take lightly. We love our crest. It's iconic and has stood us through unforgettable triumphs and testing times, but it was created in a different era. Its intricate design doesn't always translate well in today's digital world, and it's difficult to reproduce it clearly and consistently. As football and the world changes, so too must the symbol that unites us. That's why we're coming to you. This isn't about walking away from our past, it's about carrying it forward with pride. The crest is part of our story, it's on our shirts, inked onto our skin. It deserves thoughtful evaluation, shaped by the voices of the people who love it. Tell us what matters most based on what you've heard, blah, blah, blah. It says that they've spoken to the fans advisory board and then gives you a tidy little link to a survey. Now, those of you in the chat, so I believe this went out to season ticket holders and Mags Plus members. So you go through, you click the link on there. For me, Alex, it doesn't even give you a no option. Just keep it as it is. That's not an option on the survey. It essentially runs you through this nice little video at the beginning, voiced over by a Geordie, which talks about the history of the crest, what it means, you know, what we've seen underneath the banner, as in the triumphs that it referenced in the email. So it's a nice little video that they had put together. But then it does go on to reference, well, look at clubs like Man City and Juventus and Arsenal who've changed their club logos. And like, for me, that made my eye twitch because I don't want to be anything like those. I know, like this. I don't want to be anything like those clubs. I felt like I'd got vinegar in my eye or something. So I understand the sentiment behind it. You know, they're looking to change it because it makes it sleeker and more, I don't know, impactful or whatever it is. They obviously know how much of a jarring thing this is going to be. So for the fans, for the history, I think for young and old are going to feel this. I don't think this is going to be taken very well at all. My personal feelings on it, I love this crest. I absolutely love it. It went into the sort of symbology of it, and the sort of the lion on it, the castle representing obviously the fortress in Newcastle, the seahorses about the ports and the merchants, and the banner, what it meant. The flag was originally a St. George's flag. Yeah. It's a tough one, but by the sounds of it, the decision's made, folks. So it's all about what elements of the logo you would like to keep. And I think they'll sort of try and interweave one of those into whatever the new one is that they come up with. But hey, what do you feel about it, Alex?
I feel like Paul needs to show me how to make a poll, because we need a poll for this, certainly. So I think make sure you all come back for the match day live on Sunday, because I will force him to do a poll on the logo, because it absolutely. In fact, we'll do a logo show. Why not? I'll tell him we're doing a logo show, which might get a little bit boring, but it's fine. Who gets bored of looking at the Newcastle logo? It's fantastic. Anyway, I'm really on the fence about this, Sam. Really on the fence.
Come on then.
I absolutely love the current crest. It's all I've ever known. I was born very early 90s. It's all I've ever known. It really is. And part of me just wants it. I want the club to just kind of break the trend, buck the trend, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And sort of go, no, you know what? We're going to push the historical logo forward. And maybe they could lean into that and make it a bit of a meme, that is the marketing strategy. They can make fun of the other logos, that they're not going to sell out and they're going to be traditional. Part of me really does want that. But then another part of me realizes that the club's logo has changed previously several times in Newcastle's history. And they're not wrong when they say they want more marketability. It needs to be appropriate for all forms of merchandising and media.
What's it not working on, though? My counter. What is it not working on? This is what I'm not getting, and I'm thinking, do you know what? Is this a vanity decision? We want a new shiny stadium. Okay, like a lot of us as fans had to like persuade ourselves and think, well, it's revenue, it's the best thing for the club, and we get nice new facilities. Okay, we'll have a new stadium now. You know, for me, just changing the logo, I feel like it's just a vanity thing. We don't need to follow the herd for something that stands out a little bit more. We've got iconic black and white stripes. We don't need a logo that's, you know, really, really overly simplified because it's trendy and woke. I just think it's so unnecessary. This symbolizes the region, our history, our pride, our hard times. It's who we are. I'm really not. In fact, I'm talking myself more into wanting to stay with the old logo. I can't imagine simplifying it.
Right, let's bring up some logos. We've got some historical logos here. So I think if this is going to happen, the only situation in which I would be okay with it is if we returned, because they're clearly going to want a circle branding thing. Honestly, this fly is clearly a Macam that's come to haunt me. Get out of my office. So the only thing I would be comfortable with is a variation of the 1976 to 1983 one, because it's previously been used. It references many of the same things that the current crest does, about the region, about the club. It's the only thing that I think is even remotely appropriate is a variation on that, because it's historically been used, and then it fits their criteria of being a little bit easier to mass produce and for media content and things like that. Not that I don't really understand why it would be a problem with media and entertainment. I think it's purely, and I think Norvik said this in the chat as well, it concerns me that it's about production. And if so, can we not just take the hit on that? Like, I know we're a business, but
why is it a problem right now? Look at all the merch that Newcastle have like pumped out this season. We've never seen so much merch from Adidas or club only stuff that they've been producing of late. I don't think that's an issue at all. This is what I don't understand. I don't see any simplified or varying versions on media either. Like, it's freely available on Sky, TNT, whatever channel that you might be watching it on. They don't have any issues putting up graphics. You know, if you go on your app on your phone, you know, the little banner along the top, millimeters they get that logo down to. And of course you don't get the detail, but it's just a simpler version of it. So are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
What you're seeing. I am saying what you're saying,
folks.
Guys, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to interrupt Sam, and I know people don't like it when we interrupt each other on this channel, but we might have a surprise for everybody. I think a few people might be able to guess what this is in the chat. Just for people, so I'm gonna let him sit there because he's not told us. So I'm gonna let him sit there and suffer for 30 seconds while I put Tom's comment on the screen. So Tom's referenced the resolution. So resolution-wise, it looks messy and undefined in some respects. They have provided examples, i.e. this. There was a digitized version, which is the same logo, but cleaner and fresher. I did read some stuff on that today, Tom, as well, that I think they redid it a little bit to make it a lot crisper. I don't know. We've got a lot of adjectives about the same thing. So let's get an expert's opinion, because, Sam, we're both, under 30. So we need an older person's opinion on this. I am very, very happy to absolutely overjoyed, thrilled to welcome back Mr. Billy Bob.
Hello, everyone. Sir? Hello, everyone. Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Full of the joys of spring, so to speak.
Oh, Billy. Good to see you, mate.
Feel great. Thank you. Thanks ever so much. And I really do appreciate all the nice messages that I've had in the chat and and after shows, fantastic. Really did help me. Despite the fake Billy being last night, I really did appreciate the vast majority of the messages. Yeah, I thought that. I mean, I was actually in this chat with him and he was trying to make out it was me. But there you go. Never mind. Yeah, the new badge stuff, I've not seen anything about it, really. But I mean, nothing stays the same forever, does it? So, a new badge. I'm good for it, to be fair. Yeah,
You're okay for a new badge.
I'm okay for a new badge. I do like I love the badge that we currently have. But if you go back in history, like if you just put that chart up there, we've not had the same badge forever. So,
What are you thinking? You thinking the circular ones to kind of fit? Like Bristol City went that way. Man City went that way. They've all kind of gone towards circle logos, haven't they?
Let's not forget that one on the far right at the top has been on the away kit this season, so nothing new.
Well, as long as they don't go like that.
Yes, I agree with you. Don't want that crap.
Do you know what? Maybe we can utilize
end.
the sort of shield in the middle rather than, trying to do anything else or just letters or whatever. Like I wouldn't mind just seeing it like a black and white shield.
Yeah.
As long as
I say
it's just
wouldn't
not
mind. I'm still fiercely
against
against it, but.
Well, some people
there's
just
a lot
don't
of
like
people
change,
who-
do they? Some people just don't like change, but at the end of the day, I mean, people grow to love it, whatever it is. And I like the letter one from the 80s, but I do like the one we've got now. I do like, I've got to say.
It's a tough one. It's a tough decision. How are you, Billy, then, anyway? Because we'll chat more off camera later, but are you fit
You
and
look
firing,
well,
are you?
mate.
Yeah, I feel fantastic, to be honest. Yeah, everything's in the right position. Everywhere's in the right size it should be. And I feel fantastic. They could have let me out 2 days ago, but I had a bit of a tough time. I did have my bladder ripped open by an unscrupulous surgeon while I was in there trying to fit a catheter to me. But aside from that, yeah, I'm good.
I'm surprised you're smiling so much, mate, but it's great.
Well,
to
I was
see.
over a week. It's over a week ago. It's healed now. So, yeah, there we go.
Well,
Love it.
we're very glad you're back.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do some super chats because I'm a little bit slow on this. Sorry, guys. So one from ages ago. Sorry, Mr. Johnson Street, i.e. MD, with a £2 super chat. Couldn't they just frame the existing one, folks? What's this on? It's probably why I should do it a bit quicker. What are we framing? Logos? Pop it in the chat what you mean, Johnson. I don't know what we're talking about with framing, but thank you for the super chat. Samson Like Dove, thank you very much for your 50. Is that Danish kroner, Billy? I believe it is.
It is indeed, yes.
We have 3 important games left of the season. Catastrophic timing for a new... well, I think that means the discussion about the logo potentially. Yeah, I mean, this probably could have waited. It probably could have waited. They could have done this at the end of May, really, couldn't they? We need to focus, but...
I think you're right on that for me, Alex. I don't think it's going to affect the players or anything. So I think since we already know largely what we're getting in terms of kit for next season, did we need to know it? It could have been some exciting news over the.
Well, I hope those are fake, to be honest, because I'm not overly thrilled. But
what do we need to get into that as well? Goodness me, Billy, have you seen them, mate? I know you've been in hospital, but have you seen the new proposed kits?
I've seen the latest one. I like the blue in it. I've got to say, I'm not keen on the edges of the stripes. I've got to be honest. Didn't do anything for me that, but the blue in it is quite good.
The green one is.
I've not seen the green one yet.
Looks like Celtic.
Oh,
I'm not a fan.
No.
The away kit better be absolutely incredible because I'm not buying the home or the third kit because I'm not impressed. I thought getting Adidas, the fact that we all mocked Castor so aggressively, at least the designs weren't terrible. Apart from the number 4 one, the designs weren't bad. They were just really poor quality shirts. I was hoping for better designs from Adidas as well. So I don't know. It's early days. We'll see what comes out of it. We've got Martin Watson. Thank you for your 29 months membership. Welcome back. Billy Trey, you have been missed, mate. Thank you, Martin. We all share your sentiment. We've all missed Billy incredibly. Michael McIntyre, thank you for your £5 super chat. The times they are changing, Lady Sam, to Toon.
Toon, I know. I need to get with it. I'm sorry.
And Yvonne Kingswell, thank you for your £5 super chat. Big kiss to Billy. I mean, you can do that, Yvonne. Good to see you back. Indeed, it is fantastic to have him back. Absolutely fantastic. So, Billy.
Yes.
Chelsea.
Yes.
How are we feeling?
I I think we have to play to our top of our form to actually win this game. I must be honest. I don't think having a one passage on the pitch is going to help us. It's not going to work. We're not going to get away with it. So I think everyone's got to be from the same hymn sheet and playing virtually to the top of their ability. Because I think Chelsea are a good side, and I think they have some very dangerous players. I think we can score. It's keeping a clean sheet that I'm worried about with the pace they have in behind, with Jackson, people like that. But if we play to our top of ability, I'll see no reason why we can't win the game.
I agree. I do echo those sentiments as well. I will put some of the predicted lineups on the screen, and we'll go through a little bit with Billy and for everybody who potentially wasn't in last night for the match preview. But first, I've just got to do a couple of shout outs and make sure that you have liked the stream if you haven't already. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button if you are not currently a subscriber, so you can come back and watch more amazing shows. We will be doing a match day live on Sunday, which maybe Billy might be there. We don't know. We'll have to see how he's feeling. We'll see. And yeah, make sure as well you've got a little dollar sign if you fancy supporting the channel. Click the dollar sign. Instead, you can become a member instead, which I believe is a monthly fee and allows you to support the channel, but be involved in things like giveaways. Paul does a lot of giveaways with stuff like books and scarves and signed photos, all of the above. And a lot of people do donate stuff to be given away on the channel. So thank you everybody who does that. Please make sure you check out our sponsors, Mamaru Records. I think the logos have been covered now because we've got 3 of us back in. But Mamaru Records, there is a link in the description to check them out. They do a lot to help the channel. They do also have a shop in Whitley Bay, so make sure you check them out as well. And I think that's about it. I think that's everything I need to say. Shall we have a look at some lineups, Billy? Have you seen the predicted lineups?
There we go. Yes, I've seen this predicted lineup. Yeah, it's basically Gordon for Murphy, isn't it? What we've seen. I'm okay with that.
We've got a sofa score predicted lineup, which I can put up for you. Obviously, that's the only downside of doing previews on a Thursday is we don't get this too early. So they are going
unchanged.
Pretty much what was discussed last night. I think their centre half options have changed with Chalobah and Colwell. And for
Chelsea,
us,
for
us, they do seem to think that Gordon is not going to get the nod for a start.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. I mean, Eddie Howe isn't one to break things that aren't broken. Let's be honest. And Jacob Murphy has been fantastic for the vast majority of the season. Would it be fair to drop him after one game? Probably not. But having said that, I'd like to see Anthony Gordon have a real go at Caicedo, I've got to say, because I think he can take him to the cleaners. I mean, Caicedo's kicked him in the previous 2 games he's played against them. They obviously know Gordon's a threat to them.
Yeah, we had a little chat about this last night. I think me and Paul were at the game live when Caicedo went right back for Brighton, and he got destroyed. I think that was the game where we qualified for Europe, and or nearly. One or the other. It was close. So yeah, historically, but it does also concern me, Billy, that Caicedo could step into midfield, and then all of a sudden you've got a line of Caicedo, Lavia, and Fernandes, which is quite terrifying.
It is, yeah.
Sam, what are your thoughts on the fixtures for both teams? Because we've not had your opinion yet.
Yeah, I think for me, as Barnes done anything to be dropped? I know there's a debate of, how can we get Barnes and Gordon on at the same time? I don't think Murphy deserves to be dropped on with Billy on this one just after one game. He's having the season of his life, and he's probably looking for a bit of a redemption this weekend, I would hope. I would like to see him subbed on a little bit earlier because I don't think they would be able to handle his pace as much. And we're going to need to be able to break through that back line with the likes of Gordon's pace. I think they'll struggle to handle Tonali as well. So I think, like what Billy said, if we're at the top of our game, we absolutely can take them, but it's inconsistency that I'm finding for me, and it drives me wild when we, don't have that cohesion as a team. But if we can bring that and just even have, a limited amount of individuals who are bringing quality, Tonali, Isak, if he's on his day as well, Livramento, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys in that it's a bit harsh to drop Murphy. I'd drop Murphy.
I mean, I understand why people are saying it because I think we need to get Anthony Gordon into the side, but We can only play 11 players, unfortunately.
Would you like to see my favoured lineup from yesterday, Billy?
Yeah, let's have a look. Well, didn't you go back 5?
So I went with the back 5. I've gone with this.
Yeah, and it's an understandable one as well. Yeah, I like that. I actually do like
with
that.
With Botman back in. So very much what we did against Arsenal and Spurs and Manchester United in parts of this season, when we just needed to be really careful, basically. I think we're at that point in the season now where this is a cup final, because this is a 6-pointer. We need to, not only do we need to get points, we also need to stop the people around us getting points. And this is an opportunity to do both with Chelsea. We cannot lose against Chelsea. We cannot, because we give them 3 points and we get 0. It would be a disaster. And I would prefer to be a little bit more careful. This has worked every single time we've tried it before against a big team. Chelsea's a big team. If they have their Weetabix, they're terrifying. They might not gel, but they beat Liverpool the other day. Fair enough, they did rotate quite heavily. But I would be more inclined to go with something like this, just to be really, really careful.
I like this, Alex.
Well, I did say in the preview as well, and I'll say it again for people who think this is a little bit too defensive. We weren't defensive against Arsenal in the Cup. We actually pressed them and we were super aggressive and in their face. So I kind of want that approach. I want this lineup.
The bonus to it, Stato, is that not only have you got your midfielders, your strikers pressing, but Share and Burn end up pressing as well at certain times. And they have no idea of dealing with that. So, yeah, I like that. The only problem I've got with it is Barnes defending Trippier, helping Trippier. That's the only problem I've got with it. Because Barnes doesn't really want to get back and defend, is he?
Well,
but he's got to be inside somewhere.
You could bring Murphy on. So this leaves good substitution options.
Yeah.
And playing in this style means that players like Willock, Longstaff and Murphy can contribute significantly more, especially players like Sean and Willock. I think they would contribute more than they normally do playing in this way, because Sean could come on and just try and block passing lanes and just be a lump. And Willock could maybe offer a bit of pace and try and break out when we're trying to see the game out. There's options, and then he'll bring. I mean, there's no point in talking about strikers because he'll bring Callum on whatever I say. So, yeah, it is what it is.
I think the only sort of reservation I might have about this is probably Isak. The only reason being is because I feel like he's been a little bit leggy of late. I don't think the mobility that we've seen earlier in the season has been there the past few matches. I know there's been debate. Is he maybe carrying a knock? Is he injured in somewhere or anything? So I think that's the only concern that I've got. But I think that's where it's counterbalanced with Gordon and Bruno. So, yeah, I like this, Alex. Nice work. Not that Eddie will play it, but it's nice to dream.
Did anyone see the Sandro thing that's come out of Newcastle?
I haven't seen it all yet. Yeah, we were going to discuss that. If anybody hasn't seen it, don't leave us yet because we've still got some time left. But once we're finished, of course, you can click away and go and watch the lovely Sandro video that the official NUFC YouTube channel have done. It is, I believe it. What is it? Is it just a day in the life of Sandro? Because I've watched.
It's outstanding. Yeah, someone follows him around. It's really, really good. Really, really good. And his English has come on. His girlfriend speaks better English than he does, to be fair. But you see a lot of the training stuff and the actual unity and the camaraderie and in the squad itself is something to behold.
I'm very excited to watch it. Have you not seen it yet, Sam?
No, I haven't seen it. When did it come out? Was that today?
Come out today,
yeah.
Go and get yourself another glass of gin and watch that when we finish because it's fantastic. I've watched like 3 minutes of it and I'm very excited.
I think the club do it right when we get these little insights into the team. I really like it. I like that we're upping the ante with that type of stuff. I think it creates really good connections for us. Getting the insights always interesting. Like obviously there's some fans who are not bothered and just want to watch the game, but I love stuff like that. So yeah, can't wait to watch it. I do want to ask Billy something though. Billy, have you seen the don't know if you've seen it on social media or anything, and for those in the chat as well, the Sunderland fans waving the bus away as they go to the playoffs in Cov. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I've seen plenty of Mackhams around here. They're passing by.
Oh,
They'll
please,
be arguing
folks,
with the Jimmy Hill statue again.
If you've seen it, folks, please get in the chat and let me know your thoughts on it. So go and watch it if you haven't already. So it's the team bus leaving the grounds, and there's about 10 people with flares and a couple of flags. It's just the saddest. But they've actually got a drone to go. They had a drone to film it, and there's like 10 people there for it. It's just, yeah.
There's something else, ain't they? They really are.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if the fact that Sheffield United have got like 90 odd points or something ludicrous, I think Sunderland are like nearly 20 odd points behind them. So if Sheffield United don't go up, they're going to be absolutely fuming. Imagine scoring 20 odd points more and someone else gets the promotion. I know the playoffs have got to happen, but it's bizarre. We have got a few more super chats to do. Where are we at? Julie with the £5 super chat. Stop making me do Geordie in your super chats because I'm terrible at it. Super Billy. There we go. So pleased to see you looking so well. Welcome back, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie, for Billy. Graham Sinclair, thank you for your $1.99 super chat. I'll tell you what, Billy, do you want to do the super chats? Because they're for you, mate.
Yeah, welcome back, Billy, you superstar. Thank you, Graham. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it's lovely. All these lovely kind of sentiments. Really appreciate them. Every one of them.
You've been
I'll
very
let you do this one.
Sorry it took a while to do this, but sending all our love and best wishes to Billy. Love to see you. Thank you up to A1. Again, thank you very much. Ecstatic.
We have an Ian Skinner super chat for £2. Tonali video, nice recruitment vid on club culture. Yeah. 100%. Wise comment there, wise words. I don't know if you remember, Billy, but it was, I don't think you joined us yet. I think you were still with He Who Shall Not Be Named, Voldemort, prior to that.
Bullshit Basil.
I think it was just after the takeover, and I referenced in one of the first shows that I did that I was always really jealous of other clubs doing all the YouTube stuff because, especially because we had COVID and I had a bit more flexibility when I lived in Poland before, and I used to watch a lot of YouTube content. And Man City and Arsenal, all these clubs used to do all these fun things. They used to go on European tours or tours to Asia, and there were loads of fun challenges, and I was so jealous of it because our club was just bathing in kiddie pools and black bins, and everything was secret. There was bust ups. It was awful, and I was excited that we were maybe going to progress to that point where we could. It's that video. This Tonali video is a culmination of that progress, and it's just fantastic.
I remember you saying it.
I actually remember watching that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you saying it.
Anyway, let's go for some more chat. So Johnson Street IMD has clarified his previous comment. You didn't have to do that with the super chat, mate. You're very kind. So Style, in response to your question, take our badge, put a shield around it, leaving a white background. Yeah, there are definitely ways you could improvise to retain the current crest. I believe. I just think the club don't want to do that. They wouldn't have brought this up if they didn't want to overhaul it to a degree. So I think it's not going to be changed marginally. It's not going to be like they're going to change the colours of something. It's going to be overhauled. It is. Otherwise, they wouldn't have carefully broached this to the Mags Plus members. It's going to happen, I'm afraid. Well, that's my opinion anyway. Roblox, thank you for your £2 super chat. Good to see you, Billy. You doing the Chelsea commentary. How are you feeling, Billy? Do you want to have a chat on Sunday?
I should be around somewhere, I imagine. 12 o'clock kickoff. So, yeah, I guess I'll be around. I'm going to be watching it, so I'm not watching you guys.
I've got to ask you, because Paul seems to think that this is a thing, and I don't personally. That 12 o'clock kickoffs are a bit weird and they're going to be difficult for us.
Because you can't go on the piss beforehand and the fans don't get us up for it. I think it's a thing.
I think it's worse for the away fans, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Which benefits us, so I'll have no problem with it. Us being at home, no, not at all. And 12 o'clock kickoffs are not a new thing. They've been around for years and years and years, so.
I do think there's a difference in atmosphere because of the drinking.
There is, yeah. The Geordies probably go straight from the night before straight to the ground, wouldn't
Yeah. So my opinion on this, Billy, was a bit different. I feel like because of the players train in the mornings and early afternoons anyway, I in theory, surely the players should be better prepared for an earlier kickoff. They're less tired. They've had less of the day to go through. Less of the cortisol and afternoon hormones have kicked in. They can just have their breakfast and they can be ready to go. I genuinely don't understand the whole, like, I don't get it personally. Like, surely doing a 7:45 kickoff is hard when you train every day. So if Monday to Friday, if they train in the morning and then they go play nearly a 9 o'clock game, personally, I think it just makes much more sense to have like lunchtime football for the players specifically. I don't really buy into this. That Sam, you've got a good point with the crowd. Definitely that could be a factor. The crowd, certainly. But, you know, it wouldn't be beyond the Geordies to have a good atmosphere at 12 o'clock, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
And like people in the chat said, as if like we don't drink before 12 anyway. Like, of course, like the strawberry is open at dawn, like on a match day, which is great. But usually we're in there at that time anyway, even at a 3 p.m. kickoff. So less time frame is what I'm referring to. But I do think like just, you know, a bit of drink, you're having a laugh with people, you're getting excited about it. It contributes to atmosphere. And Eddie said in his press conference, we really need to bring it because we need to get the lads over the line with this one because it is going to be a tough match.
Yeah, it's a must-win game as well, isn't it? It really is a must-win game. We win Sunday, Villa don't beat Bournemouth. I don't think they can overtake us.
Yeah, no, I think we mentioned that last night in the preview, Billy. I think if Bournemouth beat Villa, I don't think we're going to finish 7th. I don't think it's mathematically done.
Yeah, six is the lowest we can finish. I think you're right.
Unless we lose like 12-0 to someone, which isn't going to happen. No. So, right, being as we do have some time left, I would like to maybe give you both the option. Would either of you like a Sam's wine or a Billy's beef? Is there anything that's irked you this week, or especially because Billy's not been here for a while? Would anybody like a crack at having the microphone for a few minutes?
I mean, I've not got a beef because I've been in hospital. The only beef I've got is against that pissing surgeon. But I mean, he won't be watching, so there's no point. The thing was about this surgeon. I've got to tell you about this surgeon. He was trying to force this thing through me, basically up me into my bladder. And he's pushing it, and then he reaches my bladder, and I went, ah! And then he forced it through it. He said, I can't get it through. So they all went, oh no. And then he carried on fiddling, and he went, this is my greatest bit of work ever. I've got it through. And I'm like, oh, fucking get out! It's fucking killing me. And then the urine thing that they put below you was full of blood and not urine. Hence, they had to take it out. And he was like, he was more happy that he'd got it through and celebrating the fact without, I was like, screaming. Anyway, that's my beef.
You sure he wasn't a tree surgeon? They got it mixed up.
It was fucking whatever it was. It was fucking butcher. Abraham Davidson, his name was. I'll never forget that.
I ain't going to Cov Hospital. Jesus Christ. Right. Anyway, let's segue away from that, shall we?
Oh my God! What is that?
It's sweeter than molasses. Shit got gliss on my wrist like a maverick. Bitch, you rich little bitch with some baggage.
Wine, please, Samantha.
Wine, always wine. So I am a Mags Plus member. I have a membership for my dad as well, so we can apply for the matches together and hopefully get tickets to go and see the lads. However, I don't know about anybody else who's a Mags Plus member. Obviously, season tickets are like gold dust. I have had such little luck in the ballots. This season, I have managed to get 2 tickets. That's it. All season, 2 tickets. I've been to cup matches because I've got them separately, but I think we all know cup games are very, very different. You don't get the same atmosphere at all. And I think it's just really frustrating. I don't think the ballot systems actually working to help fans who are really looking to get there and cheer the lads on. I'm seeing tickets on touting sites going for like £150 a game, and the club seemingly doing nothing to actually stop this and help, real fans who actually just want to get there and join a game. Get yourself a Mags Plus membership and you can go into these ballots. And I appreciate, there's people online saying, oh, well, go for the general sales after. Like, with all due respect, if you're working, who has got time to sit and wait for the general sales tickets to go on? Like, out of pot luck, you've got to keep trying. I've never managed to get a general sale ticket, and I think I've tried about 5 times this season and then just given up on that process as well. So it's really, really difficult to actually think this for next season. Do I even bother renewing this? Yes, you get the member perks, and I love a bit of Newcastle merch. Like, I love the sort of, the limited edition Adidas Gazelle trainers, like they were great. The Shearer top, like all of that lovely stuff that does come out. But ultimately, the reason I've got a Mags Plus membership is because I want to actually get to the games. And I'm just really, really frustrated with it now because I just don't feel like the process at the moment is even working. So that's my wine for this week. I don't know how folks in the chat feel, if many people actually have Mags Plus memberships, the type of look that you've had, but most of my friends, they're not having any luck either. So I'm scratching my head thinking, is this process even working now?
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's one that's been shared by many people. I mean, I'm going to put myself out there for some criticism because I got rather lucky, just to show you that it does. It can work for certain people. I've been in the ballot twice this season, and I've been successful twice. So I got very lucky, very, very, very lucky. So apologies to people who have struggled. I haven't been in the ballot this calendar year because I've not been able to get up. I came up for the final. I came up to the northeast because I did not want to go to London because it's London. Who wants to go down there? So, and thank you very much, Sam, for the tickets to the fan zone. That's very much appreciated. So it's a funny one. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about the ballots. I would say from my experience, it's mostly negative. I don't know about you, Sam, but
that's what all of my friends are saying, that they're really struggling to get tickets. The percentage that they get in is so low out of the entire season. I think there's only one person who's had more tickets than me. Everybody else is around 2 or 3 tickets from the whole season. Like, what is happening? I just don't understand it.
Who seem to get them for every game they apply for, though, some.
Yeah, and I just don't understand it. If we're going in for ballots and we understand the amount of members that we've got, can we not do it on some type of system where we understand who's had tickets and do it more fairly, where you've got a guaranteed amount of tickets you can have throughout the season? Can we not work? We know how many seats we have for a home game. It'd be relatively easy to figure out. Can we not apply that way and then make sure that there's a fairer allocation? Because at the moment, I just feel like so many people are not having luck backing on general sales, which is really difficult to get, especially if you don't have the flexibility of time to sit and wait for them to be released or keep trying. Or you've got to go to these ticket tout sites where you're in danger of losing all your money, and 150 quid's not cheap. For a game, it's not cheap at all. It's expensive when you get them in the ballot, never mind getting them off a tout, and then you're risking losing everything if it's not legit.
There should be, without a doubt, for fairness alone. We know it's a lottery who gets a ticket. If you've got a ticket for one game, then you shouldn't be at the top of the queue for the next one. There should be a queue for the next game, which you go to the back of. Simple as that for me.
Yeah, considering the amount of pull they've got now, they could definitely employ developers and get something in place where there is some kind of system where if you're in the ballot, you can't get more than 5 successes in a season or 10 successes in a season, or you can't get successive ballot successes. That was a weird sentence. They need to divvy it up so that it does get spread more fairly among people applying for it. Certainly, they've got to address it because it's something that every time it comes around to that time of year, the social media is just full of people complaining about it. And to be honest, rightly so. They want to go and see their club. It is what it is. I know we're building the new stadium or expanding, whatever we're doing.
The problem with
They do
rotation
need to-
is, of course, if you've got a run of fixtures which includes, say, you have Ipswich, Leicester, and then you have Liverpool. There's no one going to be a point for the Liverpool, the Leeds, the Ipswich, and the Leicester games, are there? Everyone's going to be putting in for the one. So really, you need a fair selection of games where you don't play the big teams all at once, if that's possible. I don't think it is. That's like the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah, well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight, and it's fantastic to see Billy back. And again, on behalf of Billy and the Toon Review, thank you for everybody who's given him the messages. I know he reads them. It's very important to Billy. So, and it's fantastic. We were not expecting him back tonight. Me and Sam were not told. I was going to go call Billy after the show and get an update because he said he was coming home. So I was going to go see what the crack was, and he's just appeared. So thank God he's home and he's healthy. But thank you everybody for tuning in. Please make sure you like before you disappear. It really helps the channel. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already done so. You can click the $sign to donate and support the channel and become a member as well. Make sure you've hit the little bell notification button so you can get notified when there's more shows. Sunday is match day live for the Chelsea game. Newcastle against Chelsea live from St. James's Park. Well, we're not going to be at St. James's Park, unfortunately. I think we need to ask really bad questions in a press conference to get one of those. So we'll see. But yeah, we will be doing the show on Sunday. Possibly Billy Bob might be joining us. We'll see. We have got a little super chat. Thank you for that. Whoever's pulling it up. So from
Somebody
Dan,
with me, so I had to pull it up.
I mean, let's read it out. I didn't even see what it was. I concur, Sam. Although only Mag's members, wife and I have zero luck in any ballots. That is very unfortunate, Dan. Very unfortunate. Keep trying, I guess. Keep trying. It does work because I've been successful a couple of times. So try it. It's I can't. I don't know what else to say.
Failing that, get yourself an American accent and you're laughing.
Anyway,
Billy.
we're not going there. You came too late for TTR Friday vibes, Billy. No banter, I'm afraid. We're finished. So yeah, make sure you've liked and subscribed. Come back on Sunday. Thank you to all the mods, everybody who's donated, super chatted, become a member, renewed memberships. You're all amazing. Thank you for all your contributions in the chat tonight. Thank you to also Mamaru Records, the sponsor. They're in the description. Make sure you go check them out in Whitley Bay. And thank you for my two wonderful hosts, hosts. You're all hosts for assisting me. I couldn't do it without you. Otherwise, I'd just be a talking head on my own. Who wants to do the outro? Sam, do you want to have a go?
With Billy here? No, absolutely not.
Oh, go on, Billy. All right, Billy.
I'm only going to say.
I'll tell you what.
That's it.
Let's move. Let's do that. Let's move you up there. See you on Sunday, everyone.
Yeah, away the lads and lasses. Come on.
Come back and check out some green.